Hello, welcome to Off the Shelf Reviews.
I really don't know what to say for this one.
And I'm Gary. And today we're going to review and discuss Nightmares, which came out in 1983 from director Joseph Sargent. Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis?
Well, Nightmares is 4 different tales about different individuals going through different things. We follow Emilio Estevez, Veronica Cartwright, Richard Mauser and Lance Henrikson as they face off against these weird and strange occurrences.
You know who the director is, don't you, Ian?
Yeah.
Mean, you recognise the name straight away.
Oh, yeah.
It's one of our favourite films.
Yeah.
This is the director that would go on from this to direct Jaws the Revenge, and that would mark the end of his theatrical film making career.
That's a bad.
Which is a shame because, this guy came from television, directed lots of episodes of TV, and had a fairly successful career until he started shooting films.
Yeah, well, he did actually go on and remake Sybil, the 2007 version.
Yeah,
which
the
I was
TV
like,
version, yeah.
Well, I like the original. That's not too bad. But as soon as I looked him up and was like, this is the guy who did Jaws the Revenge, it immediately put me in a mood for this film. I was hoping I could recover.
Well, this was originally intended to be a network TV episode.
Right, yeah.
Almost like a pilot for a TV anthology horror show.
Like a Twilight Zone,
like
an
a
Outer
Twilight Zone,
Limits,
yeah.
You know.
But the studio at the time was just like, nah, this is going to be too intense for TV.
Yeah.
Especially in the early 80s, so no, this is just going to have to become a theatrical film of itself.
Yeah.
And so they actually went back and filmed additional sequences just to pad the stories out to make it so they could put it in the cinemas, essentially.
Yeah.
Well, Ian, why don't you give us the synopsis for the first episode, Terror in Topanga?
The story follows a mum who decides to just go out and get some cigarettes, but she's been warned not to because there is a knife-wielding psychopath out there who is just stabbing everybody in sight. She stops to get some gas and comes across a crazed attendant, and, well, I've seen this tale done so much better. I can't
Sounds like an urban legend.
Oh man. Like John Carpenter's Body Bags.
Yeah.
You know, there's the first tale in that where there is the petrol attendant, and she is being hunted by a killer.
Yeah.
This is pretty much like that. You're looking at this mum and you're like, don't go outside.
But she's an addict. She really needs a cigarette.
So badly that she's going to abandon her husband. Is it her husband? I don't know if it was her husband or her dad at one point. Because that's how their relationship came across to me. She's got this kid. She's smoking blatantly in front of this kid. I know it's the 80s and we were allowed to do it back then. But she's not really being a good mother. And, he's watching the news about this killer that has been going around stabbing people. And we've just seen a cop being murdered right off the bat after chapter 1 has appeared.
I thought that was interestingly done as well. They did that with no music. There was no, there was some sound effects, but there was no music for that sequence.
Yeah,
so it was just like, okay, it's quite brutal.
Well, yeah, but all it really gave us was, hey, look, you've got this crazed killer running around.
Yeah.
And so you're like, oh right, okay. And yeah, like you said, it couldn't have been shown on TV because it was quite gory. It was very bloody. The whole over-the-top acting from the cop as he died, like, oh my god, I've been stabbed.
Holding on to the antenna of the car.
Yeah, I thought, is he going to snap that off? Is he going to beat the guy? Is that going to be evidence? No, because the antenna's got nothing else to do.
We're just going to leave it flapping afterwards.
Yeah. But we follow the mum, and she heads to the local store to pick up supplies.
Yeah.
And the attendant...
Would you recognise him?
Oh man, we've seen this guy a lot recently.
It's Anthony James. Yeah, he's High Plains Drifter. He's in World Gone Wild.
Yeah. Great actor. He just keeps appearing in these little shots. And, you get the creepiness from him. you know, when he's talking about the killer to her. So it's like, oh, maybe it's him.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, in my experience, I'm like, well, obviously it's not, because the film's making it too blatant. I suppose the tale is too blatant. There's going to be a big twist. But she gets into her car, and then we just follow her drive for ages. Or what seemed like ages.
Well, it's because on her way home, she's almost out of gas. And so she's like, oh, and now I need to stop for gas somewhere. And she keeps driving past the station. It's closed. It's out of gas. It's closed. It's closed. She's like, oh, I'm running on empty, so I'll just keep going.
Until I get to William Sanderson's gas station.
Yeah. William Sanderson, of course, you recognise from Blade Runner.
Yeah.
Or Deadwood, even.
Yeah, but it's one of those situations as well where the film makes it too obvious that he may be the killer.
Yes.
You know,
he's really creepy.
He's the creepy gas station attendant in out in the middle of nowhere, and you have that whole back and forth with them about the exchange of gas. It's $5, and then he just smashes her window and starts to pull her out of the car, and you're like, oh, what the fuck is going on? Maybe he is the killer, and he drags her all the way, and she's screaming her goddamn head off. He pulls out a gun, and the madman has been in the back of her car this whole time. And William Sanderson blows the guy away. And I'm sat there, and like I said, I go back to John Carpenter's Body Bags, where the first that tale was really built up to make you believe that what you were seeing, the person you were seeing, was the killer. This film, this tale, the red herrings were just, they weren't really, for me, well placed. It was more like a slap in the face with its tail. Like, is this the killer? Slap, slap, slap. I'm like, no, obviously the killer's in the back of the car. He's in the back of the car. That's what I'm getting. And when the killer does finally appear, I'm thinking, he sat there the whole time while she was looking for a gas station and didn't stab her once.
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of lame. Yeah, I guess at the time the film came out, it would have been okay, because it's, you know, this is before all the urban legends films and all the retellings of those stories have just kind of been done to death. Especially this one, which is the most common urban legend of about the killer hiding in the backseat of your car, you know, or at the gas station, whatever. And it's just isn't really done that effectively here. They didn't really create the horror very well.
Yeah, I would have preferred it if she'd actually gotten out of the car and dealt with William Sanderson and gotten a creepy feeling from that. Then got back in and then him attack and pull her out.
Yeah.
Because it just, I mean, who fucking does that? You know, like, oh, there's a guy in the car. Smash! You know, you at least tell her, like, get back. What? Smash!
That could have been her husband who was just sleeping in the back. It's like, kill him! It's the killer!
Just blow him away. But then they get back to, when she gets back to the house, you know, they've kind of rectified their relationship, and he's like, have you got your cigarettes? And she's like, no.
I love that sign she leaves for him when she goes out. She's like, addicts, you know, non-smokers just don't understand.
Yeah. I was like, yeah, I would have probably said that at some point. But I wouldn't have gone outside if there was a mass killer running around.
Yeah, who had escaped that very night.
Yeah.
So, Iain, why don't you give us the synopsis for the second story? The Bishop of Battle.
This story follows Emilio Estevez playing J.J. Cooney, who is addicted to a video game called The Bishop of Battle. And he's heard that there is a secret 13th level that he can get to. And he really wants to do it. When he finally gets there, though, he's bitten off more than he can chew, I suppose. Oh, man, I was really hoping that this tale was going to be good. You know, I'd read the synopsis when reviewing the film. Emilio Estevez was in this tale about computer games and stuff. And I was like, oh, brilliant. And then, I mean, it starts off, I suppose, kind of cool where he's hustling those other guys at another arcade in the city.
Yeah.
And it's, you know, it's like pool hustling, but with an arcade machine, which I was like, I don't think I've ever seen that done.
I don't think I've ever seen that happen in reality.
Yeah, ever. You know, I've never seen anybody go up and be like, hey, I'm not very good at Street Fighter 2, so do you want to play me? I've got $25. You know, and then whoop his fucking ass with Ryu. You knew who the best players were. And so when they've got Emilio Estevez, who I believe at this point this was long before the Breakfast Club. I forgot to look it up. I'm pretty sure Breakfast Club was
Probably soon after this, though.
yeah, but it doesn't look like he's aged.
No,
from this point,
no, all the way through to Maximum Overdrive.
He kind of just looks like this.
That's Emilio Estevez.
It's Emilio Estevez, and the jeans, the t-shirt, and when he puts on the little headphones and he starts just listening to music and he's in the zone. I'm like, he's not a teenager. I'm not getting the teenage feeling from him.
No, he seemed way too old, compared to all the other kids that were around him, especially his best friend.
Yeah.
Who's traveling with him. I'm just like, this is like brothers? I'm like, no, they're friends.
They're friends.
Okay.
And so he plays off the local gang at the arcade in the city and takes their money from them, but he takes that back to his local arcade.
Yeah.
So he can go up against the Bishop of Battle again.
Yeah.
Gary, I mean, this is 2019 now, man, and I've played a lot of video games.
Have you played a lot of arcade games? Because there was always an attraction to going into an arcade. Because, that's one of the things that I loved about this tale.
Yeah.
Is that you got to see all those old school arcade cabinets.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, wow, it's the nostalgia bomb has just exploded.
Yeah,
and you're hearing all the sounds and just I was just like, oh, the 80s are hitting me, the size of that Walkman, the music that he was playing on it. I was just like, okay, yeah, take me there.
But the game, though,
the game itself was ass.
Good. I was wondering because I'm sat there and I'm like, right, okay, let's work this one out. So it's a top-down view where you control a sprite that runs around a maze shooting different objects that are trying to attack him. You have a gun joystick that allows you to shoot.
Yes.
You have what appears to be a ball thing
for your movement.
Yeah. And then you have what appears to be buttons as well to change your guns, but a trigger on the pistol to actually fire it. And so I'm like, what the fuck? I play a lot of video games. Is this a first-person shooter? Is it a top-down shooter? There's 13 levels of what appears to be this same level.
As the levels progress, though, towards the 12th and 13th level, the camera gets closer and closer down into the maze. So, yeah.
And
so it almost becomes a first-person shooter by the end.
Well, that's it, because it cuts back and forth. You're going up against this Bishop of Battle, this giant green head. I was looking at this tale and I was trying to enjoy it, but Emilio Estevez's acting was so lame. Just so lame compared to all the back that it kind of ruined the tale. So like when he went home to his parents after being kicked out from the arcade and he was going up against his dad and he was so pissed off that his dad didn't believe in him, that he could be this #1 gamer and that's all he wanted to do. And I was like, Emilio, you're like 20. Get a job. It's not like his dad was beating him or anything and his mum was trying to be sympathetic. He was just addicted. He was really addicted to this video game.
Yeah, we've had the smoker addict, now we've got the gamer addict. And bit of trivia for you, Ian.
Yeah.
Did you recognise the voice of the Bishop of Battle?
No.
That is the voice of James Tolkien, which is Strickland from Back to the Future.
Oh.
From He-Man.
You're a slacker.
Yeah.
You're a slacker.
You are good, Earthling, but not good enough. I am the Bishop of Battles.
So Emilio breaks back into the arcade and decides to use all of his money and all of his tokens to find that secret 13th level. And we sit through a montage of him battling against the bishop and finally getting to the end. And it was so tense. The sweat was pouring. Well, he was dodging that last shot that killed him earlier in this tale.
Yes, yeah.
But getting to the 13th level, the arcade machine then just collapses in on itself.
Oh.
Yeah. Now, I want to say I enjoyed this bit, but the effects of the head coming out and declaring war on Emilio Estevez, on JJ, and JJ having to use the blaster to just fight and kill all the things that were trying to attack him.
All the monster shapes that had come out into reality.
Why didn't he just spawn kill? Like, he shot that one purple one that just kind of slowly came out. And
Yeah.
I would have been like, next, blam, next, blam, next, blam, next. But it just turns into this crazy over-the-top.
Well, yeah. The reality is he kind of freaks out as all these monstrous shapes just materialize in this reality.
Yeah.
And he runs away, even though he continues to shoot at them.
I put that down to, though, playing like an 80s arcade machine for a long period. He like, they weren't really there. There's that legend of that old arcade machine that you used to play that made you see spots and stuff and gave you epileptic nightmares, and that's what he was seeing. So he's like, and the bishop.
So he was the one who actually wrecked the whole arcade.
Oh yeah. Because, I mean, he drops the blaster once he gets away from the battle sequence.
Yeah.
Which I was like, bad plan.
Why? Yeah.
And as he's walking away, the Bishop of Battle appears in front of him and eats him.
I guess so. I mean, it kind of transports him back into the game.
But it does float towards him with its mouth open.
Yeah.
And he's like, ah! And then the next morning we come across his 11-year-old friend and JJ's parents looking for JJ. And they come across the arcade, which has been damaged and from all the laser blasts, which I thought was kind of cool that they recognised.
Yeah.
It was brought into reality, I suppose. Because then you see him in the game.
Yeah. Well, you see him, and then he turns into a sprite with the outline, with the headphones on.
Yeah.
And now he is the character that other people will be playing in the game.
So,
Yeah.
the Bishop of Battle, there's a secret 13th level that if you get to, the Bishop eats you.
Mm-hmm. And then you take
become-
over the player.
Right.
Well, I mean, he kind of got what he always wished. Now he's playing games for the rest of his life. That same game.
Yeah, I suppose that's cool. I wouldn't mind playing Doom for the rest of my life.
So let's move on to the third story. The Benediction. Ian, will you give us the synopsis for The Benediction?
Lance Henrikson, ladies and gentlemen, plays a priest, or, as some people might call him, a bishop. He's lost his faith and has decided to leave his flock and enter out to the desert. But he might realise that there is no escape.
Yeah, this one, I'm just like, it's Lance Henrikson. Yeah, he's an amazing actor. He's an amazing actor who has chosen some really poor projects to appear in.
Yeah.
But Lance Henrikson is always amazing in everything that he does.
Yeah.
And, he is probably the standout actor of this entire film as well.
I don't know. I there's a couple to come, but I was hoping this tale was going to be good after the fucking schlock of the second one.
Yeah, well, I mean, the second one was so far out there, compared to the first one, which was about a serial killer in the backseat of a car.
Yeah.
To a video game kind of breaking into reality, Tron style.
Yeah.
And doing, silliness. And so this one, kind of brought it back, a little bit, with some harshness, where we've got, kids dying, in the Mexican-American territory.
Yeah.
And which is what causes Lance Henriksen's character to lose his faith. He's just like, how can God exist when children are just dying needlessly on a daily basis?
Yeah.
So he's like, there is no fucking God. I'm out of here.
Yeah.
And the other priests were just like, well, it's your faith. You've got to believe.
Yeah, but that guy he was answering to with the glasses,
Yeah.
he was a pedophile. You could totally fucking tell. I'm just saying what everybody else is thinking. He looks too comfortable in his parishional position.
Okay.
Where Lance Henriksen is there dealing with these issues. And, I mean, he had his friend, Father Louis, another great actor. I didn't grab his name, but, he's saying to him as well, like, this is what we do. This is the flock you've got to take care of. These are your responsibilities.
Yeah.
But, yeah, the guy with the glasses,
No. And so Lance is like, right, I'm going to get in my car and I'm just going to drive across the desert.
Did he steal that holy water?
Yeah.
Right, so I can immediately know where this is going. As soon as he leaves this place, he's a priest who's renounced his faith and he's just stolen from the clergy.
But he doesn't even care that it's holy water. He's like, it's not holy water, it's tap water.
Yeah.
So it's just like, and he needs it because he's driving across the desert
Yeah.
with no air conditioning.
Yeah. I mean, where the fuck is he? Like, in the middle of nowhere?
Yeah.
This, I'm like, I was trying to just go with this tale after obviously the last two, but obviously trying to review it. Lance Henrikson, once again, overacting, trying to make the role his and work with the material that he has. There was just a lot to go with, you know, like it was like when the kid was come in and the kid was dying. He'd already lost his faith, I felt, by that point, because he was just like, no, we're not giving him the last rites, we're going to try and save his life. And I'm like, you know and I know that he's dead, so, and that this is what the parents want.
Yeah.
And then it was like when he's trying to do the sermon and he forgets it. I did like that imagery.
Well, it's not that he forgets it. He's just like, it's pointless. He just felt there was no need for it, for him, you know. But he's inflicting his lack of faith then on the family who are there, who want it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's pretty devastating.
I did like the imagery at the beginning though with the goat and the rattlesnake. That I thought was pretty symbolic. But then when he finally does get out into the desert, he comes across this amazingly looking badass black truck.
Yeah. And they're both coming to an intersection, aren't they? And so he stops to let the truck go. And the truck stops to let him go. And so then when Lance decides to go, the truck takes off. And almost causes a collision, but then obviously takes off down the road.
Yeah.
Which leaves Lance, you know, a little bit uncomfortable and driving on. And you're watching this and you're like, oh, a little bit like Jewel now, you know. You're thinking Steven Spielberg's Jewel because you're seeing the desert and you're seeing the black truck.
I'm blatantly thinking Steven Spielberg's Jewel, but I'm also getting a lot of the car as well.
Yes, yeah.
With I think it's Josh Brolin's dad, and just this black image, and so because of the priest features with Lance Henrikson, with the imagery of the truck, I'm like, okay, let's test this faith. Let's see how far we can push Lance Henrikson, and. I mean, the action sequences are cool with the truck smashing in and appearing in certain locations, but I just kept wanting to watch Jewel.
Yeah.
I just wanted to just turn it off and watch like the car instead because it flowed better, it felt better. Maybe it's coming off the back of the other two tales. I was like, his faith's being tested. Let's get to the big crux of it. And I mean, the car gets fucking totaled.
The tires burst.
Yeah.
The bumper's hanging off the back. So he's trying to fix that. And then the truck comes back for him again. He manages to take off and get away. And then the truck drives literally out of the ground.
Oh.
Like it was in the earth.
Yeah.
And it drives up out of the ground to pursue him and chase him. And it's at that point as well that you get to see an inverted holy cross hanging off the mirror
like,
inside the truck.
Yeah, if you didn't know it was the devil at this point.
I mean,
blatant.
Of course, all the windows are blacked out, so you can't see the driver.
Must be hot in there as well, because the desert sun.
It's probably got aircon.
Yeah, true.
Or it's from hell, in which case. It's an inferno in there.
Man, I was sat there, when he pulled up at that section, and you start hearing the rumbling, I've got my notepad there, and I'm just like, it's in the ground. You can't see it, but I'm waiting for this. I was actually waiting for some really crappy, cheesy 80s effect of fire, you know, in the car to appear. But what instead I got was the actual car coming out of the ground. Like they buried it underneath the ground.
Yeah.
And now this truck is coming out. And I'm thinking, wow, that's probably where a lot of this budget went then.
Well, to be fair, nearly all the budget went on the previous episode with the computer effects coming into reality. Those effects cost so much that it almost bankrupted and cancelled the entire film.
Wow! Wow.
So, burying the truck in the ground,
yeah, a couple of grand. Great special effect though. I mean, it was my favourite scene, just watching him pop out. But I'm building up for the final battle. I'm like, just kill the, you know, how are you going to restore your faith? And it's when the truck fully takes Lance Henrikson out and takes the car out, and just as he's about to ram him, he grabs the holy water and throws it
at the truck.
And the terrible effect that we watch.
The truck just disappears. And then the police turn up at the scene and they're just like, yeah, what truck? There's no tyre marks, there's no evidence, there's no paint scratches in yours, so...
It's all in your head, so maybe you're crazy. And he's like, no, I need to go back to my flock. I need to tell them that I defeated the devil and the devil is real and he's going to I don't know.
I'd be more worried like the devil's not going to let us leave.
Like I said, I was hoping this tale was going to be good, but it was such a poor rip-off of Jewel.
Yeah.
I just wanted to watch Jewel. But I was glad I saw the truck come running out of the ground, unlike this next tale.
Oh, yeah. Why don't you give us the synopsis for the final tale of this anthology series, The Night of the Rat?
Well, if you didn't get it from that title, Veronica Cartwright and Richard Mauser are a happily loving married couple who have a bit of an infestation in their house. The two of them have to band together as this happy, loving family and try to destroy this creature before it hurts their daughter.
Wow, yeah. Got some more great actors here.
Man.
Veronica Cartwright from Alien. Richard Mauser from Stephen King's It TV series. And, he's Clark from The Thing.
Lambert and Clark are fucking...
Yeah, I know.
Like, that's amazing. When I saw the two of them there, I'm like, okay, maybe, just maybe, this will be the standout tale of this whole.
You
film.
usually save the best till last.
Do you?
Well, you should do in an anthology movie
Yeah,
series.
you should do, but it's always the middle tale that's usually the best one because that's where all the special, the budget went. And look at what we did with this one. And instead, we get great acting. I say great. It was a little bit over the top. But then I can never tell with Veronica Cartwright, actually. She's so over the top in a lot of her performances that I'm like, oh, she's an amazing actress. But is she just over the top? Like, her reactions are usually so realistic.
Yeah.
I suppose what I'm saying, when you see her in Alien with the chestburst sequence, or her reactions in Invasion of the Body Snatchers with Donald Sutherland, it's always screaming. So I'm expecting her in this tale, to be scared of rats all over the place. And then going up against Clark, Richard Mauser, bit of a douche.
He's a complete scumbag in
He
this
is a
film.
fucking
He's
asshole. Like...
Yeah, I was waiting for him to get his comeuppance the entire film.
I kind of felt the same. I'm like, this dude is cheating on his wife. He's neglecting his family. He just doesn't care. But then, at the same time, as the tale went on with the reactions from Veronica Cartwright's wife character, there was just no love there.
No.
Like, she was as pissed at him as he was at her. And the little girl was paying the price. The little girl was an amazing actress.
Yes.
She was way too good for her age. And I was just like, oh, I wonder who this girl is. So I went to look her up. And immediately the first thing I saw...
She looked like she was going to have a fantastic career. She was incredibly talented.
Yeah, but the monster, I feel, got hold of her because she was dead at 21.
Yeah, a heroin overdose.
Yeah, and I was like, here I am watching her in this performance where she's really pulling it off that her parents are dealing with this horrible rat issue in their home while also trying to battle with their problems.
Yeah, yeah.
But the rat effects... Fucking hell. When you...
I think it's the first rat that you see is when she opens the cabinet and you see that black smudge fly across the screen.
Was that a rat?
That was supposed to have been a
was
rat.
That? Yeah. Was it? I was expecting something, but it... I was expecting rats just to appear, like live rats. Like, here's a bag of rats. Oh my god, it's terrifying. But
no.
Nothing.
Nothing at all.
Nothing.
Not even rat droppings.
No. Like, I mean, we see a cat get killed.
Yeah, that was, I will admit. Yeah. I hate animal cruelty, but sometimes we see a cat get killed. It was funny. It was...
Yeah, but it was also fucking stupid because
Yeah.
I'm sat there and I'm like, right, Veronica Cartwright in a film from Alien where she's being kind of stalked by something you don't see and she's got a cat. So here comes this cat and it's going into the basement and I'm expecting it to do it. I'm expecting it to do a Jonesy.
Yes.
I'm expecting it to start hissing and be all scared and this creature to be... And... No, it willingly just walks right up to whatever the fuck is in that darkness and gets eaten. Or, I mean, does it even get eaten? We see its body later, which has just got like a claw mark on its side.
Yeah.
And it's blatantly a fake cat. But the red eyes.
Yeah.
The red eyes underneath the basement.
That was so cheesy. It was so bad. And so, so Veronica Cartwright, her character, she's just like, right, we got a rat infestation. We're going to get a rat catcher into the house.
Yeah.
And Clark's just like, no, we're not. Remember, you wanted a goddamn swimming pool.
Yeah.
And if you keep spending our money on all these other things that we can do ourselves, then, so you don't need the rat catcher.
Yeah, I'll just use traps. And he does catch one at one point and just goes out into the trash.
Yeah.
But that just seems to intensify the goings-on. The goings-on that are happening in the house are kind of like a poltergeisty,
it's like a
kind
haunting.
of feel.
Yeah.
But it's a fucking rat infestation. And so as much as I'm trying to be scared of what's going on, I'm like, I'm just waiting for a giant rat to appear from something.
Somewhere.
Yeah. And so when the exterminator turns up and he pulls that unit down and the fucking rats, there's a hole in the wall. Like a big fucking hole in the wall and it's got all gunk around it and fur. And I'm like, that's not normal. We need to burn the house. We need to burn the house down.
Yeah. The exterminator's just like, yeah, you've got a pretty severe infestation. He's like, look at the pipes have been chewed through.
Yeah. They've left you a note that says, get the fuck out. I mean, the rat has actually gone into the girl's bedroom and fucked up her whole entire bedroom, but placed a rat teddy bear as like the queen in the middle of the bed. Like, that's not normal, is it? Like, how does an exterminator go, yeah, you got rats? You can tell because there's shit in your drawer.
Well, he probably was about to explain things further, but Clark obviously comes home and it's like, right, there's a rat catcher here. I told you no rat catcher. Send him out. Get rid of him.
Yeah.
And we're not paying you.
How does he explain it as well? It's like the rat god of death or something.
Tells about a thing called das Teufel-Nagetier.
That's what?
Claire, who is that?
It's a legend about huge, malevolent rodents with unbelievable cunning and strength that terrorize certain villainous individuals in 17th century Europe.
When you get this rat, you're fucked, because this thing cannot be killed by conventional weapons.
He's like got a book of witchcraft or whatever, isn't it? And it's like explaining about this rat
lord. It's like
lord.
a watcher.
Yes.
It's like a watcher explaining it to Buffy, like, Buffy, you got rats. And Veronica Cartwright's like, oh, fuck.
How do I defeat it?
How do I defeat it? And so Clark and Lambert now, they've got no flamethrowers, they've got no motion sensors, they've got no smart guns. They've just got to kind of confront the rat. And the rat starts to torment them, cutting the power and moving units around the house. And so Clark gets hold of a shotgun to try and fight the rat, but knows that it can't do anything. Until the rat finally appears. And wow, that rat effect is probably the most shittest animal backdrop special effect I have ever seen.
That is really, really embarrassing. Like, no, the Leapers did it better.
When that thing starts roaring.
Yeah. I mean, you can tell, they got a real rat and they've kind of superimposed it in, but you can see the effect. It's not finished. It's, it's not ready.
And this takes me back to Veronica Cartwright's acting being great, but at the same time over the top, where she is being told, you need to react to a giant rat. Yeah. And so she is reacting to it. But it's like it's 1950s. Maybe this whole tale would have been better just being filmed in black and white, because she's like 10 feet away from where the camera is and where this rat is supposed to be. And the rat's not even interacting with them. But you're supposed to be believing it all. And every now and again the rat goes, and you're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
And then it's psychic. The rat is fucking psychic and starts to talk to the mum and daughter.
And it says it wants its child back.
Yeah.
So the days old rat, however many days it's been since he killed that rat with the rat trap, he goes and fishes it out of the rubbish.
Yeah.
And brings up the dead rat and gives it to the queen rat.
I thought it was a well-trained rat. I mean, it did.
Yeah.
He put it down on a unit on the very far side of the room, and I was like, okay, why is he putting it all the way over there? Maybe it's a trap. And the rat actually goes over there and kind of interacted with it, and I'm like, okay, that's cool, I can see that, but it's blatantly still not there. And then he's trying to shoot it, or wanting to shoot it. And Veronica Cartwright's like, no, it cannot be killed by conventional weapons. You can't do anything. I'm like, yeah, but maybe it's like the demon, the judge from Buffy. You know, maybe it can't be killed by like wooden stakes, but a fucking shotgun or like 6 handgun bullets to its head might do it. But they don't. They just send the rat off. The rat goes away.
Yeah. Goes finds another house to terrorize. So, Ian, do you have any favourite scenes from Nightmares?
Man, I only really have that one, which is the truck coming out of the ground. I thought that was a great effect.
Yeah.
I
Worst scenes from Nightmares?
Oh my god! Oh, don't get me started. No, fuck it. Yeah, worst fucking scene. The whole first tale is terrible. It's just not really well done. You know, I do not get behind the her being scared or even being saved by William Sanderson. And I feel bad for William Sanderson because he's supposed to be the fucking hero. I'd rather watch John Carpenter's Body Bags. The second one with Emilio Estevez, oh my god, I'd rather watch Maximum Overdrive than that tale again. It's no, don't go. No, Benediction, Lance Henrikson. Is it wrong to think he was better in Hellworld?
Yeah.
Right, sorry. I'll take that back. No, this is
blasphemous.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it made me think of the Bishop joke, so I'll give it that. I'll give it credit. The last tale. Yeah, the effect, the fucking.
That's memorable. Yeah, I'm like you, Ian. I only have one favourite scene really from the whole film, and that is the truck driving up out of the ground. So that's a very good effect. I'll remember that. That worked. But I guess I will remember the Emilio Estevez stuff. I got hit with a massive 80s nostalgia bomb when he went into that arcade store. It was just like, I want to spend a day there.
Yeah. Spend all your money on breaking joysticks and fucking, you know.
So I think it should come as no surprise that I'm really not going to be recommending Nightmares. I don't rate this film that much at all. I mean, it's kind of fun in parts, and it's slightly creepy in places.
Yeah.
But it was completely lacking any polish. It was lacking that one gore effect or that one payoff to truly make it anything decent.
Yeah.
All the actors do a fine enough job. And it's well paced for an anthology movie, you know, an hour and 30 minutes.
Yeah.
This, for me, was really missing the wraparound story that kind of links all the 4 stories together.
Yeah.
Which is what I like in most anthology movies.
Yeah.
Lance Henrikson, for me, was the standout actor. He delivered the best performance. I would really hardly call this a horror film. But, you know, it's great for 80s nostalgia, and other than that, there is very little here. You know, this is probably not the worst anthology series I've ever seen, but it's pretty close.
See, for me, I don't recommend Nightmares. I can't even recommend it as a horror anthology tale, because I like those. There are so many good ones that I can immediately remember, and remember the Succubus from Grim Prairie Tales?
Yeah, hell yeah.
That was fucking awesome. And even just the KKK story in that was actually better than all of these tales for me personally. I wanted one of these to stand out, and I thought it was going to be the Emilio Estevez one, but that was so just cheesy and stupid. I wanted it to end. I wanted the tale to end because I wasn't enjoying it. And then to realise that was only the second tale and I had 2 more to go made the film drag for me, even just an hour and a half.
Yeah.
Like I got annoyed because I rewound the film at one point to watch Lance Henrikson flop, and I accidentally restarted the movie, so I had to fast forward all the way back to that point, which added 2 more minutes onto my watch time to get through this film, just to watch the truck come out the floor again. And I was like, that's really good. That's the best thing to watch in this film. The rat sequence at the end, if you want to fucking have a laugh, yes, totally watch that sequence. Like Gary said, all of the great actors, all of the big name actors in this film do really well, but then I wasn't really surprised by that.
No.
You know, as soon as I saw their name, I'm like, that's really, really good. But the director, the editing, the music, if he even tried to use it, the opening sequence that he added in, The stuff all from him, no. No, no, no.
Thanks for watching Off the Shelf Reviews.